Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be prepping that piece of driftwood that I found on Lake Michigan in my last video. So stay tuned here at Patty's Aquatics. See my last video collecting driftwood for my aquarium, go back and see that one because that's going to explain what we're doing here today. So I collected a bunch of driftwood and I got this piece here. This is the one I want to put in my 75-gallon puffer tank that I want to rescape, and I also got a few other pieces. So in today's video I'm going to be prepping them and getting them ready to put in that aquarium. And how I'm going to do that? Well, first is that I'm going to attempt to boil them. Now, like I stated in my last video, I've never prepped driftwood before for an aquarium, but I did do a lot of research, read a lot of stuff, watched lots of YouTube videos, and everything I read pretty much and watched pretty much said boiling is the best thing to do. Now there's some that say, soak them in a bleach water mixture, but I don't want to do any of that with wood that I'm going to be putting in a tank with my fish. You can soak them for long periods of time, but I'm gonna try to boil them and see how that works. Now, my only issue is a piece of wood here is too big for the pot that I have. Now, I could go one side to the other side, but there's still probably like a 6-inch section that won't get in water. So my idea is to kind of cut it in half, boil both sides, and then use super glue to super glue it back together, and then to cover that cut mark with Java moss, which I planned on putting on some parts of this piece of wood anyway, and then you wouldn't even know that it was cut. So I guess first thing we can do is attempt cutting that piece of wood and hope it works, and then go from there. Not easy. Should have used my table saw, but I'm a glutton for punishment. Well, I got the water starting to warm up and boil on my outdoor cooker. And then I took the pieces of wood and I hosed them down with the sprayer part real good to try to get all the nooks and crannies. It's probably better to use a pressure washer if you have one, but I'm hoping since I'd be able to submerge the entire pieces of wood from both sides, that should be good. And I'm going to do it a couple times just to be safe. Then while I'm doing that, there's a few other pieces I'm going to quick spray down and throw in there with it while I'm doing that. So yeah, once I throw the wood in, I'll show you. So I've had the wood boiling for almost a half hour now. I'm going to have to flip it to do the other side for at least a half hour yet, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Well, now we gotta wait another half hour. So the wood is done. I took it out of the boiling water. Then I wanted to sit in my goldfish pond for a few days because I'm not ready to escape it yet, to kind of let it stay waterlogged. Well, it's floating, all of it. So I have a rock on top of them to try to keep it down. So I'll show you some video of that. So the plan is I'm not scaping that tank for a couple days yet, so I wanted to keep it in the pond to kind of keep it saturated. So what I'm going to do right now is take that piece that I cut in half, my main log piece that I'm going to have up there, and I'm going to try to super glue it together to see if it's going to hold. If it don't, the other option I have is I'm going to drill a small hole into each side and put a wooden dowel in there and put it together. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so it was a little more complicated than I thought it would be. The super glue itself would not hold, so I had to try to MacGyver a wooden dowel. What I had are bamboo skewers that I use in my tank sometimes for putting cucumber on and feeding my fish. So what I did is I cut small pieces of it, drilled holes on each side of my piece of wood, and kind of put it together with super glue. So it's not 100% stable, but it's not going to be load bearing. I just got to put it at the bottom of my tank. And then where I have the cut, here I'll show you. Where I have the cut here, I'll put Anivius or Java moss or something in there, but I mean, it's not going nowhere. So that will do. So that I'm done with that piece of wood. So I'll throw it back in my goldfish pond to let it soak until I'm ready to scape that tank. So that's all I got for you then today. All I can say is that do research, figure out ways to be able to cut costs for yourself with your tanks. And in turn, you get to go outside in nature and find things that are cool and bring them into your fish tanks to make your own little ecosystems. I find that completely enthralling. I mean, that's what I love about this hobby as well, is to be able to kind of make something outside of your house your own, to bring it inside to be able to look at for your fish to be able to enjoy. So, and for you to enjoy. So with that being said, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time at Patty's Aquatics.